Hi, welcome back to BizJet TV. My name's Fab Pauly, and today we're going to talk about owner pilots. So basically, if you like flying, if you fly as a hobby, or you're thinking of buying a private jet because you need it for business, but you would like to learn to fly and fly yourself, then what's the best aeroplane for you, and how do you need to go about this? Now, my very first job as a pilot actually was with two young men, and they were just under 30, and they decided to go out and purchase a Citation 1. A Citation 501 it was at the time, and so they purchased the aircraft, half each, and I used to fly with one or the other, and this is what they did. So they were owner pilots, and they had a professional pilot fly with them, and there was me and this airline captain which flew the plane sometimes for their guests or flew with them individually, and this is what they had chosen to do. So there are a lot of people out there that choose to buy an airplane and combine their hobby with their business. And so they buy the airplane is a business expense. They do the flying from A to B for business, and at the same time they're enjoying the flying themselves. Now there are a few elements, and I'm not going to go into to answer the question of which is the best airplane for a pilot owner, because as I said in one of my previous videos, the choice of aircraft really does depend on your needs. Now in the case of an owner pilot, what I would look at is what piloting experience do they have, how old they are. Now, if you're, let's say, 55 years old and you've flown Cessnas all your life, and you decide to go and buy a jet because you want to fly it yourself, and you say, well, I'll buy a single pilot jet and then I'll fly it around on my own. Well, to that I would say that's a very, very bad choice, unless you always have a professional pilot next to you. Because for someone that's flown Cessnas all their life to then go and learn to fly a jet at the age of 55, your brain's not that inclined. It doesn't think that fast. You're going to put yourself into a difficult situation. Now, one of the problems that does happen with owner pilots is people that have the money to buy a jet, they go out, they spend maybe 3 or 4 million on a jet. Sometimes they don't want to listen. Because they have the money to buy a jet, which not obviously everybody has, and they have the money to operate it, they tend to be a bit big-headed, and they won't listen, and they think they know everything. They think that, oh, I can fly this thing, no problem. But they don't realise that they need to be humble. I mean, I've seen owner pilots before flying alongside a professional pilot and not letting the professional pilot teach them, and not listening to them, and thinking that they know better just because they have a lot of money. This is very, very wrong and very, very dangerous. So if you are somebody that wants to buy a private jet and you want to fly it yourself, I would say the first thing is make sure that when you do buy the airplane that you're going to always have a professional pilot sit next to you. You're not going to fly this thing on your own. You're going to have a professional which has been professionally trained that focuses entirely on the operation of the aircraft and is up to date with everything, with training and whatnot, and the background of this pilot is going to be really, really important. So many times people just go off and buy the airplane and they don't think about these things. And this is really, really important, because I've seen so many owner pilots crash and die. It's just, it's very sad, unfortunately. And that's because these people don't listen. So whether you're in the market or you've got the experience to go and buy your own Falcon 900 or G550, there are some owner pilots that, you know, can number one, afford this kind of airplane and have the ability to fly it. You get some people which have ex-military pilots that then went into business, made a lot of money, that go out and they buy their own jet and they fly it themselves, and they're very capable. Others that, you know, start with a smaller jet and then work their way up. So a lot of it will depend on your experience. But definitely what I've seen, people that come into even the profession as a pilot in their 30s and then want to fly jets, even once they've learnt to fly them, they're a lot slower than someone that's learnt to fly a jet in their 20s. So this is something to bear in mind. Don't think that because you have money to, you know, go and do all the training and all the simulator and whatnot and buy the jet, that then you're going to be capable. It's very important for you to sort of understand that, you know, people die with airplanes. These things move through the air very fast. And it's not the same thing as sitting on the ground and having time to think about doing a business deal. You may be very good at what you do, business-wise, but flying a jet requires another skill set. Whether you have that skill set or not, I don't know. So what I would do, if you're thinking of going down that route and buying an airplane and flying it yourself or learning to fly it yourself, let's have a conversation. Let me see what I can advise. And it may be I'll just turn around and say, you know what, I don't think you should be buying a jet, or buy a jet, but let someone else fly it. It depends. It depends who you are, what you're coming from, what your background is, what your intention is, what type of jet you want to buy, what type of flying this airplane is going to do, etc., etc. So again, it really does depend on the person. There are a lot of interesting jets coming out there now. One that comes to mind is the Vision Jet. The Vision Jet is quite small. It's got quite a good range for what it is. It can carry 6 people, and it's fitted with a parachute. So what happens if suddenly, and it's only got one jet engine, if it does have an engine failure or there is a problem, you can deploy the parachute, and the parachute is not on the pilot, it's on the actual aeroplane. So the parachute will be deployed and the airplane will land safely wherever it is with the airplane intact and all the people inside it intact. So that's one that's coming on the market. There are a series of jets which are certified single pilot. But again, flying single pilot, unless you are very experienced and very well trained as a pilot, I wouldn't recommend going down that route. I would still recommend hiring a professional pilot to sit next to you. So again, the best thing to do in these cases is always just ping me an email. I'll book you in for a complimentary initial conversation and learn more about you and what your expectations and needs are, and then I'll be able to direct you into what's the best solution airplane wise for you if you're going to buy an airplane that you want to fly yourself. So if you haven't liked this channel, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I encourage you to do so. If you've got any questions, ping them below, or just ping me an email and I'll schedule you in for a call. And that's all from Fab Paulie at BizJet TV, and I'll see you on the next one.